my screen. So, just a minute. I don't know what. Just a minute now. We just checked this and now there is some problem. Just a minute. I try to share it this way. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, welcome everyone to this response webinar. My name is Ritva Salminiitty and I work for Turku University of Applied Sciences in Finland. And for the response project, I work as a citizen engagement manager. And this is the 5th webinar of the project. And the item or theme is the citizen engagement in developing PEDs, which are positive energy districts. A few words about the response project. It's a quite large 5-year project funded by Horizon 2020, and it started in the autumn 2020. And we have 53 partners in 13 European countries. And 2 of these cities, which are the lighthouse cities, are situated in Finland in Turku and in France in Dijon. And in addition to these lighthouse cities, we have 6 fellow cities, and you see them there in the map. This is quite technical projects as such, so that the main implementation is about technical solutions which will be implemented in these lighthouse cities, and the fellow cities will follow this development and maybe replicating some items from these lighthouse cities solutions. But like I said, this is 5th webinar, so there has been and there will be more webinars related to these technical issues. So today we are only concentrated on this citizen participation, empowerment and awareness raising part, which is also, beside the technical parts, important part of the project. And here you can see today's agenda. We will see 2 kind of case studies from Turku Lighthouse City, and then we will have the Dijon description about how this whole process of citizen engagement has succeeded in Dijon. And in the end, like Anna said earlier, you have a possibility to ask the questions and we all answer to them. While implementing these PED developments in both lighthouse cities, we have faced some special challenges. Energy is a really abstract concept. It has been quite challenging to explain to citizens what energy is and all these solutions. It's also quite hidden in everyday life, like in response. We have solutions like solar panels, they are up in the roof, or we have heat pumps, they are based in the basement or cellars of the buildings, and some pipes are going under the in the walls. So the visualization of energy issues and these response solutions has been quite challenging for both lighthouse cities. Also, this PED concept, positive energy district concept, is often regarded quite technical way. So that the definition is that it is an area that produces more energy than it consumes. And in response, the both PED areas are mainly residential areas, and so that there are minor amount of owners. So maybe the energy saving is not so beneficial directly to the residents of our PEDs. So we have to have widened this approach to more like environmental issues. And also developing these solutions in our both lighthouse cities, they are quite far from the lives of ordinary citizens. Like I said, the heat pump or energy management systems, this kind of activities are quite far away for normal thinking, even though they might have an affect citizens. And of course, in addition, we have faced also these normal challenges for citizen participation. It has been quite challenging to think actually what should citizen engage in this response project, because we have those big technical innovations and they are not that kind of that citizens could design them. So we have to have asked, do citizens have an influence in this project, and to what extent they can participate? What is the level of the participation we can offer them? And why they would participate? Is there benefit, or what are the benefits for them? And also this normal challenge, how do we reach citizens? It depends quite a lot from the context of the city, as we have seen here in Dijon and Turku. And we have approached this question so that we have tried to go there where the citizens are already active and try to find right means and methods how to reach citizens. And after all this, of course, we need methods and means how to cooperate and co-create with citizens. As you all know, citizen participation engagement is not an event. It's a continuous process and this kind of ongoing circle for the whole project lifetime. And it consists of awareness raising. Like I said, it has been quite challenging for us to raise awareness about technical issues for citizens. It means that we have to build trust between citizens and us in the project, but also trust between citizens and the city officials, trust among the citizens. It means that we have to promote right kind of mindset, willingness to cooperate, willingness to make concerns about environment or take care of the environment, and also maybe a mindset that includes the idea of sharing things with others, and of course the spirit, community spirit. And we have to promote all of these. And like here is the contribution. It means that we have to have enough forums for citizen contribution. Otherwise, the citizens' participation is not meaningful. And here is the table for many of those activities we have implemented both in Turku and Dijon, and of course we do not have time to go through all of them, but we have had many local events and meetings, co-creation activities, capacity building and innovation activities. and we have utilized digitalization and VR tools also. But now we will give you some examples of these activities. And first, we have Martina, who is representing the response mentors. In Turku, we decided in the beginning of this project that we don't try in our project team to figure out how to reach people and what are the means for cooperating with the citizens, but instead we try to find in early stage some voluntary residents who would be willing to participate in the project. And we recruited in voluntary basis residents who we call mentors, and they have been active for the whole of the project. And actually we kind of changed the roles with the mentors so that they are not supporting us, but they are owning the process, local process, and we are supporting them. But now we have here Martina, who is one of the response mentor from the beginning of the project, and she will tell you what has motivated voluntary citizens to be involved in this project, how they have organized the work, and maybe some words about the future. So Martina, please.
Yes, thanks. I will share my screen. Yes. Oh, sorry, this is not. Okay. Yes. So before actually talking about our mentor activity, I will give a short overview of where the Response project is taking place in Turku. So if somebody is not familiar with this, the activity in Turku is taking place in the student village area, which is basically a living area mainly for student and family, which consists of about 5,000 flats. And it's a very international area, and about 20% of the people living in this area are international students. And also the language, they speak English and not Finnish. Then there is a small group speaking Swedish. And that kind of reflected in our activity that have been always basically in Finnish and English, but mainly in English. And also the kind of group of people living there is quite specific in terms of age. And you can see that more than 90% of the population is between 18 and 40 years old. So we are dealing mainly with somehow, let's say, young adults. And in this, on the left side, you can see in the map the area where the activity has taken place. The big round building that you see, it's a newest building built in 2022, which include many of the innovation from Response. And then some of the other buildings are older buildings from the 70s and 80s that has been retrofitted and kind of modernized using some of the Response solution. And now I will dig into the mentor activities and what do we do and who do we are. So just to start, mentor are citizens and they are tenants living in this area. And as Ritu already mentioned, we are not hired by the Response project, but we are volunteers, and we have choose to volunteer for this project. And that's mainly because we are passionate about the environment and worried about the climate change. And we are interested in the energy issues and the energy positive solution that the Response project is implementing. That also means that most of us are not expert of the technical solution that the Response project is actively taking part in. Some of the mentors have a good background, a relevant background to understand this solution, which is very good for our activities. But that was not a requirement when we have been selected as a volunteer for this activity. But the importance was more that we were kind of passionate about the topic, and we were willing to learn more about the topic, because we get trainship from the Response project, and that's why we use the name mentors, because we get information. So most probably we know more than the rest of the citizenship living close to us. And then we are willing to share this information on a different way. And the tools that we have been found to be useful for us has been social media, and then different type of event and get together. And I will tell a bit more about this in the presentation. But as Ritva say, we talk about citizens organizing themselves, because we have been, as a mentor, free to organize our activity, and we didn't get the instruction or requirement from the Response project. So now I take the chance to introduce a bit more myself, and especially me as an example of a mentor. So in my background, I study biotechnology and plant biology. So I have met in my professional history topic related to environment and so on, but not specifically about energy. But I care about the issue that the Response project is taking care of. And also I've been passionate about organizing events. So I thought these characteristics were good to be a good mentor for these activities. And similar have been the motivation from the rest of the mentor. So here I take a moment to introduce kind of all of us. We have been working as a mentor for 3 years. I've been there from the beginning. And we were a group of 10 back then. Then some of us has left either the project or left Turku in full. So every year we have been recruiting, or the project has been recruiting new mentor, so that at each moment we were about 10 people active. And here I have the picture and the name of some of the most active members during the year. And as you can see, we are a very international group, and also our background are very different. So only few of us are really knowledgeable about the technical issue from the Response. And I have put here in the next slide the motivation for other mentors to join. I will not go through this slide, but I leave it here. And since the meeting is recorded, if somebody is interested, then this is available. But yeah, focusing more about our activities, so we can share the way we spend our time in the project in two sides, which is training and dissemination. The trainings, it's when we learn from the project. So we had meetings with different project partners, VTT, City of Turku, Turku Energia, which gave us some more or less technical information. And then we had more practical training. For instance, we got training in social media when we realized using Instagram, for instance, was important for us to reach our audience, or in taking video, because we have been responsible of making some or taking some interviews. So we needed to have some knowledge about taking video. And then the second part, it's the dissemination part. So we do communication via social media, via newsletter that is sent here in the student village area, and interviews. We participate and organize different kind of event, including more structured event and also more informal get-together. And we do this organized in a small team. We have 3 teams at the moment: event, social media, and communication. And I will kind of come back to the small group in the couple of slides. But in terms of the structure and the method of how we work and how we create our network, The small teams operated mainly when needed, so they are basically operational team, and we meet when we need to organize an event, discussing how to share the task, what we need to do, checking the space or the IT support if we need anything, and so on. And we are active mainly in face-to-face event or using WhatsApp. And then we have some more organized monthly meeting, which are for all the mentor. And those are the meeting where usually also Ritva or Heidi that are from the response side meet with us. Those are the kind of event where we have, for instance, our training, where we get update on what's going on the event in general, on the response project. So for instance, where hackathon has been organized, we haven't organized the hackathon, but we have participated in it. So we got information about what are the dates, what are our roles, and so on. And then we do update from the small teams, so what's going on from our side, and also some form of brainstorming on a general level. And also we plan activity together with the organization that already exists in Student Village, which are the tenant committee. And here it's mainly where I want to maybe emphasize the fact that the importance of the small teams, because when we started, we did not have these small teams. So we were meeting monthly and discussing, and then it was quite hard to get anything done because we were 10 people, all volunteers or peers. We didn't even know each other. We have also the specific condition that was COVID time, so we were meeting only online, but that kind of made quite difficult to transform the good idea that we were having in action. And that's when it was decided at some point to create small teams, and each team as a leader. The leader can change, or the team can also change quite fast. So it might be that every time we organize an event, we have a new leader or some new people joining or not taking part of that specific event. But the fact of having a small group of people and a leader helped with the organization of the everyday activity. And so going back a bit of how do we do our dissemination, we can say that we can see it in that way that usually when you have expert group, you have technical solution and you have quite technical seminar and kind of information given, which involves usually a small group of people that it's already interested in the topic. But our role as a mentor has been to try to involve people that has been originally not maybe really interested in the topic, or people that didn't know there were certain issue, or they didn't know they could take an action on certain issue. And we have done that trying to do informal get-together and informal activities. So I will present in the next slide what kind of activity we had, but that's what we find out has worked for us. And again, I remind that this might be the case also because of our specific audience, so an international group with kind of young adults. So that's maybe the reason why this kind of situation has worked for us. And it's not necessarily say that it will work in another environment, but yeah, that has been our experience. So here our picture from some of the event we have organized. We have organized different type of event in such a way that we can reach a bigger audience because different people are interested in different kind of activities. And as Rita said at the beginning, some of them are not specifically focused on the energy issue itself, but maybe a bit more broader topic of general sustainability or environmental issue. And so we have been doing, for instance, trash picking to clean our area. We have been doing decoration for Christmas using recycled material. We had a treasure hunt here in the area, which highlight which were the specific point where response solution took place. And we had some activities with kids also of some local international school. And this has been some activity that we have done actually also in collaboration, or like taking example for what has been done in Dijon. So we can see that we had some connection between the group, even if we are kind of two different cities and two different realities. But what has been important has been, or what we learn is also that sometimes people come kind of from the wrong reason, in the sense that they don't come because they are interested in response or they know at all about response. They come because they are interested in that specific event, for instance, in the trash picking, or because they are simply interested on the topic that we are talking about, of meeting new people and so on. And once they are there, they learn about response, they learn about what we do. And very often people have been coming then to the next event once they know we do that and start to follow us online and so on.
1 more minute, Martina.
Yeah, and so yeah, just to say also that even if our events has always be free and we act as a volunteer, it's always good to have a budget for this kind of event, because it's good to have some food, some refreshment, or some small prizes if there is a game, and so on. And now in the next slide, I have a picture of event where we have participated. I will not go through them, but those are events organized by others, either from Response or completely other group, where we have joined and talk about what we do in Response. And this is our social media page, and through the QR code, you can follow us, and you can also find us with Energy Positive Turku handle. And my last slide is to talk about the future, because the Response project will terminate in September this year, and maybe we will still continue as a group to act as a volunteer, but we know the reality of a Turkish student village, it's a reality in which people come and go. So we feel we need a better solution to keep engaging people about the issue and making Turku an energy positive city. So that's why we have started to collaborate more and more with the tenant committee that are here in Student Village. There are several of them. And this year we have suggested to include a sustainable coordinator or ambassador in the tenant committee meeting. And one of our response mentors has already joined the committee meeting with this role. So she will act this year as a double role in response and as a response mentor and as a tenant committee member, and most probably continue next year with these roles. And we are communicating with the other tenant committee for reaching the same result, and hoping that these topics are carry on even after the project is finished. And that was all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Martina. I just want to mention for the listeners that in the websites of the project, there is that kind of channel like citizen empowerment, and in there you can find the links to these social media channels, mentors' social media channels, and I recommended that you go and visit, because mentors have been especially active also in social media, of course, because the student or the PED area is for the students, so it's a natural forum for this kind of activities. But thank you, Martina, and you will answer the questions later. Then we have another case from Turku. We also thought that hackathons and competitions might be one good forum for citizens or business, local business or other business to participate, so that they can get possibilities to give ideas and new innovations for this project. And we have here Rauli, who will tell you more about the first. We have implemented hackathons and ideathons in both lighthouse cities. So not only here in Turku, but this example is from Turku. It's the first social hackathon, and we also have a first winner who will also introduce you the solutions from the first social hackathon. But Rauli, please.
Hello everyone, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
My name is Raul Lautkankare. I work at Turku University of Applied Sciences. I will tell you about the hackathon we arranged last year. That was the first hackathon we arranged in Turku during Response project. The focus of our hackathon was more social than technical, and from that perspective, my topic is hackathon as a tool to promote local innovation and citizen engagement. The name of our hackathon was Energy Solution for People, Turku Response Hackathon 2023. What is hackathon? This is just shortly for them not knowing the concept. Hackathons, likewise ideathons, are dynamic events that bring together individuals and teams to generate innovative ideas and solutions. The main purpose is usually to foster creative and collaboration. Hackathons provide a platform for participants to pitch their ideas and receive valuable feedback. Hackathons aim to solve specific challenges through brainstorming sessions, encouraging out-of-the-box thinking and pushing boundaries. Participants can consist of students, startups, or other companies and organizations from different industries or fields. Hackathons are usually sprint-like events that last 1 or 2 days, like one weekend. How was our hackathon like? What did we expect to achieve from this hackathon? Like I mentioned in the first slide, the name of our hackathon was Energy Solutions for People. Our goal was to bring out solutions that can raise awareness of sustainable energy production and consumptions at all levels. Hackathon organizers were Turku University of Applied Sciences and the city of Turku. Hackathon took place in the end of April last year, and we had 8 teams attending to solve the challenge. Teams consisted of 1 to 4 persons. Then we had a jury where was representatives from the city, Student Village Foundation, companies, university, Finnish Innovation Fund, Sitra, and residents. The first prize for the winner was 10,000 euros, which they would get for the implementation of the solution. And the solution was open to students, companies, and organizations, as well as other groups or individuals who wanted to solve the challenge. How have we tried to utilize citizens' ability to generate ideas? We had 2 different ways or levels to involve citizens. First, Turku Student Village mentors discussed with the teams, giving them feedback and sparring them. There was like Martina and Oksana, for example. And secondly, the teams made pitching videos that were featured on the Voice Your Opinion website or Tell Your Opinion website. That website is linked under Turku City web pages. Those videos were out for comments for 2 weeks. And what kind of ideas we get? Here you can see a snapshot from Tell Your Opinion webpage, where all the participant teams made their pitching video, and citizens could give feedback and comments. There were ideas for energy saving, low carbon transportation, and waste recycling. Those ideas were supposed to utilize gamified solutions, mobile applications, web pages, or other digital solutions. The winning solution was Everyday Demand Response Calculator website. And that was my presentation. Our next speaker is Anna-Mari Kiviaho, CEO from Enutime. You can see Anna-Mari standing in the picture with the award diploma in her hands. Enutime's solution won the first prize in our response hackathon. The name of the solution is Everyday Demand Response Calculator. So please, Anna-Mari, you can next start your presentation.
Yes, thank you. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
And yes, it's working. Yes. So my name is Anna-Mari Kiviaho, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Enutime company, and I will now tell you more about our winning hackathon project. So our solution is called Everyday Demand Response Calculator, and the aim of the solution is to increase people's awareness of demand response and reduce CO2 emissions of electricity usage. Our solution is a novel web application that optimizes the best times for households' appliance use that minimize electricity costs and CO2 emission load. And electricity costs are calculated by actual day-ahead spot price contacts, and CO2 forecast model is based on machine learning and AI. And this intuitive solution enables people to change their electricity use behavior to save money or emissions. And now I will show you how the current beta version of the solution works. So here you can see that our solution, there is this cost saving and emission saving options. And if you click, for example, dishwasher, and set time frame and duration to use that, it calculates you. Wait a second, I lost my mouse. Well, you can change, for example, energy consumption, and it calculates also savings from current time. And well, there is something wrong with. Sorry. So I try to continue. I have two screens and there is some issues now. So it keeps duration and time use same, but now it calculates how much money you could save shifting your appliance usage, and it calculates how much you save and how much you will pay. And also in this, you have these advanced settings where you can, for example, put your own electricity contract margin or transmission fee, and it calculates those based on that. But shortly, it was that. And here, here you can see on the picture right side how much emissions of electricity consumption and production vary during one day. And the picture on the left shows how much consumer can save money while shifting electricity usage time from expensive hours to cheaper ones. And in this example, by shifting usage from the time frame of that time frame, consumer can save more than 90%. And in that example day, electricity prices were remarkably high due to super cold weather that increased electricity consumption. So in such days, it really matters that consumer can shift their electricity consumption. So what's next? We are developing the solution from the beta version to the final public version. We need to do communication and marketing of the solution with help of response partners, for example, through social media, websites, and newsletters. There is also possibility to expand to other European countries. However, this will require more additional partners and funding. And this is just this map demonstrates that dynamic electricity pricing contacts are available to consumers only handful of European countries. However, I would like to remind you that even though these conventional price-based demand response possibilities are not possible for all customers, but this kind of environmental demand response is possible due to GLOBE, because that aims to reduce CO2 emissions from electricity use by shifting consumption from the hours when electricity production is done by non-renewable sources to the hours when grid relies more on renewable sources. So that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anna-Mari. And of course, like to all other panelists, you can send the questions in the chat or ask them in the end of this webinar. Okay, then we next one we have here you can see in the agenda we have a Hadrian. We move to the design part, and Hadrian, who is the project manager of the Dijon Metropole for this response project, will tell you more about the whole process of citizen engagement in Dijon, how it went, and what kind of learnings they have achieved during this process so far. So please, Adrian.
Yes, thank you, Ritva. Sorry, I was looking for my for the button to put my mic on. Okay, hello everyone. As we are still in January, I can say have a nice year. Best wishes to everyone in France. We like to wish a good year to everyone until the 31st of January. So I am the project manager of Response for Dijon Métropole that I co-manage with Eric Tourte on EDF side. And what I will be presenting today is mostly work done by other people. So big thanks to them also. First, in Dijon, we chose to implement the response project in the Fontaine-Douche district, which is located southwest of Dijon, hosting a little bit less than 10,000 inhabitants, 10,000 citizens. It has been built in the end of the 60s, the beginning of the 70s, very quickly in order to cope with the need for housing for the citizens. And we already have several services available in the district. It is a district with a vulnerable population, low average income population. And the last thing to know is that even before the response project, as you can see on the left hand side picture, the district was already planned to be experiencing much works changes. So the yellow is response, while the blue are retrofitting of the infrastructure and the buildings, and the green are new buildings and the renovation. So many changes happening in the Fontaine-Douche district. As you can see, it is a district with many services available directly. So from left to right on this plan, let's say it is a 10 minutes walk to go from the left to the right side of this map. So many services available at walking distance. It's also a very green district as it is directly next to the Kier district, to the Kier Lake, sorry, which has been created pretty much at the same time as the districts during a few years before during the 60s. Now we implement the response project, and we need to work with the population, as the response project is not only about building stuff in the district, it is also about changing the way of living and building a strategic vision of the city of the future, the European city of the future. As a consequence, we have to make those changes with citizens in between, with citizens who are the ones actually living the changes in their lifestyle during the projects. So how is the life of someone reducing the greenhouse effect gases emissions by 75%, or producing more energy than that what is consumed in the district? It needs all those changes in the district, and which are mostly technological changes at first glance, and those are not the first concerns of the citizens living in the Fontaine-Douche district. As a consequence, it needs first it needed a lot of explaining, a lot of information. Please remember that the project started in year 2020. So if you remember, it was the year of the COVID, so very hard to do some communication, and being with the citizen at that time, we were wearing masks, many public events were off. So in order to explain this, this response project happening in the Fontaine-Douche district, we had to rely more on something that could be sent, shared, instead of only discussions, meetings, face-to-face meetings. So we built first very classical communication tools, but for every audience. On the left, we have what we call the Gazette, so it's a tabloid that we edit directly, which is published every 3 months, so 4 times a year. It's only a 4-pager describing the news in the district. It's not only about response, but all the changes happening in the Fontaine-Douche district. So it gives a readily available information for the citizen. While the other visuals that we have here are dedicated to be explaining the subject about energy and climate change in the district of Fontaine-Douche, and to have people have their awareness raised by the initiative of response. Those have been aimed at children and for grown-ups as well, for other with the other means of explaining. At the same time, we have not only paper but also this mock-up that we have on top left, which is a table 2 meters by 1, a mock-up of the district with an additional digital tablet, digital tab, on which we have the the digital twin of the district, implementing the changes that are experienced in the Fontaine-Douche district. So, for example, when you log in on those tabs, you can see the expected changes on the implementations of the PV panels, know where they are about to be implemented, know which buildings are about to to be retrofitted. You have information about the main ideas on the sharing of energy in the district, which are notions which are hard to explain. And in order to explain those, we need to use everything we have on our hands. So this is why we met with people in various events, such as on the top we were the mayor's wishes every year. So this one was last year, but we were there as a team last Friday. Actually, we were each year on the gastronomy fair with thousands of visitors. We were with our civil service directly in the districts. So this have been done after the not during COVID, but after. So here Oscar is on the bottom left. Oscar is discussing with a lady on during the market, on the marketplace of Fontaine-Douche. We were in the district with the mock-up with my colleagues explaining the response project. And on the bottom right, which is an interesting initiative, we have the local elected official who were going door to door in order to meet with citizens living in the response buildings in order to have a chat, have a coffee with the citizen in order to discuss with them about their feeling about the response project. This is a nice initiative that we'd like to perpetuate, to do more in the future. And the last thing we implemented at first was the Fontaine-Douche C'est Nous. So Fontaine-Douche is us, numerical platform provided by Civocracy, our partner. And this platform is a tool in order to share information with the citizen, share first news, but also getting feedback from the citizens through mostly questionnaires. And it is a tool that we would like to use more and more in order to get feedback from the citizens and know more about their life on the district and the life of what it is about to be experiencing the changes of due to the response project. So on the left, you see that you can get the tabloid. Every number is available. You can on the right have the news about our upcoming events that we have on the district, because we have more and more small events in order to gather the people during small events in which people are comfortable about speaking, while during wider events it's hard to have people confident, trustful about the capacity to give their opinion. So it's nice to host this kind of small meetings, and this kind of tool can help us with announcing those changes. So that was our first move. First move was in general this kind of events and ways of communication. The limit to this is that the response project, as I said, is very technical, and it is also implemented during COVID, started during COVID, and it is it was experienced as a very top-down project, as it had to be planned rather quickly and using very specialized information and initiative, rather than having the time to get every citizen on board. As a consequence, it is hard to reach people with this kind of a project. And our main concern is, how do we reach more the citizens? That was the main limit of the first approach that I just described here. So now we are starting the new chapter that we started in year 23, and the main idea is to say, okay, we cannot have people joining us directly during event, because we cannot force them into joining and into getting interested in our project. But the idea is more to reach citizens through the children, because we can reach the children both because we know where they are in the schools, which are interested in this kind of a project for their teachings, and the children can get interested in what's new and what are hopes for the future. So we designed a few tools for this. The main idea was to get closer to the schools. So these are not in a chronological order, but the idea was we are working actually doing works, retrofit, installing PV panels, modifying the heating systems in 3 schools in the scope of the response project. So we can both have the architects and engineers explaining to the children, that's what is on top right, explaining to the children what is actually happening in their school, because at this time the children were relocated in another school, or in this case for Buffon School they were staying on the temporary building which were installed on the playground. So they needed to understand what was happening in their own school. We had also inaugurations in Buffon and Colette schools, which were times in order to meet with both the children and their parents. We made several visits, 2 at the moment, visits with the Children's City Council, so who are interested in what's happening in the city, but have a better understanding of the news of what's happening in the city. And in the middle, what is called Ton métier de demain, sur la route de la transition, that we could translate at what's your future career, your future job. Let's go on the road of the energy transition. And for this, we organized a wide meeting, city-wide meeting in Fontaine-Douche, directly in the local council. Sorry, I don't have the words. The district house, district. Sorry, where people can meet freely. I'm sorry, I don't have the word in English, but anyways, we gathered the partners in this house, and we proposed to the schools to be joining with their students in order to get a visit of the careers that are opened for working in the energy and climate transition. So about electricity, about PV panels, about electric mobility, about the new ways of producing renewable heat, about building, retrofitting, and so on. They all started with a presentation of the response project using the mockup or the board game I will be talking about a bit later, and with generalities about the climate change. So they played with the climate fresque, which is a famous game in France, but which is available in every language in order to learn about the climate change happening in the world, between the cause and the consequences. During this event that was last November, we had 800 students visiting in 4 half days. So in 2 full days, we had 800 students visiting directly the Fontaine-Douche district, that they most of them didn't know this district very well. So it was also the opportunity for many students to actually discover this district, which is not located in the center of Dijon. Those were mainly aimed at little children, at young children. So we organized also ideathons with our local partners, and 2 hackathons. So we are used to be joining in ideathons, which are gathering a few hundreds of students, this time students between 19 and 22 years old, more or less, they join to this kind of event for 1 or 2 days. We try to have those on 2 days. It's better for building more interesting results and getting better team building in those students teams. And as you can see, we have hundreds of students each time. And the Hack to Horizon hackathons, we organize those every year in November. So we had the first one in 22 and the second one in year 23. We expect to have the last one in year 24. Each time we have a few dozens of students mostly local students joining these events, and they propose solutions to subjects which are set. Those subjects are written and proposed and supported by actual response partners, local partners of the response project. So it makes it gives an interesting use case for the students to be working on the response projects. Finally, yeah, as I said, the response project is very technical, so it's hard to explain. And the worst way to go with both children or grown-ups is to go with boring presentation or conference by a boring engineer like myself. So instead, we try to have to create a board game, which is pretty much the same. So it's a trick because it is played mostly like it is a game, while it is mostly a presentation, but it's an interactive presentation. The goal is for people to be able to design the response project by themselves as a team. So instead of just listening, they try to design. They learn about the mistakes, because they learn that, okay, you cannot do this, it's not possible due to this and this reason. So they try to find the right way of changing the district in order to change the district of Fontaine-Douche into a positive energy district. So they experience the design of a PED instead of just learning about what it is. It gives more about a feeling about what it is to be actually designing this. So while they are in our boots, they learn about the difficulties, the challenges that we experienced during the design. And it helps, in my experience, it helps people with becoming allies instead of looking for what we did wrong. Instead, they tend to understand what we went with, and they are in a more co-designing mindset after they played this game. So it was created very quickly by 4 of our students, two engineering school students and 2 of our civil service. They designed the game in a few months, and we tested it. That's on May, on top right. We tested it in May, and we'd like to to broadcast this game as much as possible in the city. So working with this, we got our toolbox more stuffed in order to reach new targets, reach the children and the students in order to reach the parents, instead of directly aiming at the parents. We still do, but we also have the help from the children in order to get parents interested in this kind of project. And I went through this very quickly, but we also designed a team of ambassadors. So the idea is to have citizens, only grown-ups this time, grown-ups that we hired and who are interested in getting more in detail training about the response project in order to be able to be talking with the fellow neighbors in the district about the project, because we are not always available to give explanations. So instead, the citizens are able to do it by themselves, because they are already very used to be talking with their neighbors. It's the district of Fontaine-Douche is a very friendly district in which people are used to this. That's why it was hard to begin during the COVID period, because it was hard to meet with people face to face. And with this tools, we hope we will be able to achieve this bridge between the citizen on one side and the district's transformation and the building of a strategic vision for Dijon. Thank you for listening and your attention. I hope to be able to answer to your questions. And nice of you to be joining in this meeting.
Hitba, you are muted, but we have one question on the chat box, which is, how were the mentors found and how did the mentor find out about this opportunity? Rita, you're muted. We cannot
Ritva, your
hear you.
mic is off.
Why? Okay, now do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
We do.
Yes, we had an announcement in TUS, which is the organization providing the student housing in Turku PED. We had an announcement in their website and in their newsletter addressed directly to the residents of the TUS. And we asked all who are interested to send us a motivation letter. And after that, we discussed with those mentors who wanted to be mentors, and then decided that which one can come as a mentor. And of course, in later phases, when those mentor activities started, in these events, we have found some new persons who have asked that how we could get to be a mentor, and they have also sent these motivation letters later. But we have recruited them only once in a year, because we have thought it's really important that all the mentors are not changing all the time, and it's not too big groups, so that they are really working together and feeling like a team. And of course, the later phases, the mentors have also been involved in the recruitment. So I hope this was the answer for this. Is there some other questions?
Not in the chat, but if someone else wants to ask something, please raise your hands and we.
Yes, I think we can be here for a minute or two. If there are not, then I will thank you all for this participating in our webinar. And if you get interested, please go to our websites. You can find more information there. You can see the address here. And especially if you are interested in more details, you should read our deliverables, because in our deliverables, we are explaining more detailed all this information. And here is also my email address, and I think Hadrian showed his. So if you are interested in discussing about these matters, please feel free to contact us. And I think it's not only that you want to ask some more questions about us, but I will be really happy if somebody is making contact and we can continue this kind of knowledge share, so that we can also learn from your experience. But thank you for my side, and yes, do you, Anna, say something?
No? Just a reminder that the record of this webinar will be available on Response YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the speakers as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.